As we speak about variety of different customizations, we require SBS DevTools in order to customize those simulations. How do we create a business simulation in Simformer? Well, the answer is pretty easy. That would be the starting conditions, then the market parameters, how big the geography is, what kind of level of competition you want to achieve, given the smaller the market and the more denser is the competition, the more deadly it will be. Naturally, set the rules for interaction for participants. How will they trade? Will they be accessing virtual economy or not? And finally, the independent suppliers that can provide various goods or not. And you're basically ready to go. Let's take a look. When you access the admin zone, what you can see is already a certain set of business games available. If we choose one of these games, for example, what we can see that on the first step, we can access all the starting templates. Second step is going to global settings, and this is where we choose what kind of business units the participants will have opportunity to open. So as we can see, if the checkbox is not checked, naturally these will not be available and the student will not be able to open those. And that's how we literally limit certain industries or business units to be opened. Naturally, the same goes about geography. Selling good modes and purchasing good modes, if we want the students to be part of the virtual economy or not, performance indicator will affect the rating. And the final part is the independent supplier tab, where we can literally manage all the independent suppliers that the participants will be able to see and buy goods from. So let's review. DevTools give us an opportunity to make 4 essential decisions. One is a starting template, kind of business the student should receive at the beginning. 2, the industry setup, what kind of business we should allow the student to open, and thus affecting the decision scope. Geography setup addresses the same business growth opportunity. If we want to make the game a little bit more difficult, disabling the countries with higher level of income would be a good choice. And then finally, independent suppliers. If we want, for example, for the participants to focus on production only, we should only supply them with raw materials and not other goods. So they would be interested in production of their own goods and then opportunity to sell them. And as we move on, some of you might have a question. So how does it work in general? Just the simulation or any other way as well? First and foremost, when we speak about business games, we have to understand that there are 2 parts of the coin, or let's say 2 parts of the globe. Simformer business simulation with the help of DevTools is the lower part of the game when we are speaking about so-called sandbox, or the environment where this business is happening. But we also have to remember that the upper part of the game is something that is happening in the head of the participant. And depending how the game is delivered and facilitated, depending on the scenario, timeline, legend of the game, various additional tasks, as well as application of theory, and how those tasks are given, is also an important moment of how a specific experience is being created. Thus, even the same scenario can be played absolutely differently. With a lot more intensive timeline, the game can become a lot more difficult. On the other hand, specific tasks help us focus the process of learning. And that's the way we create user experience, combining simulation with the proper delivery and facilitation